Hello everybody and welcome back to Kerbal's Space Program, where we are trying something a little bit different. We got a suggestion from Chris to build a refueling station in orbit over BOP, and we also got this contract to build a new orbital station around BOP. So everything is kind of coming together here. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do this. We need to have a facility supporting 10 Kerbals, which is going to be exciting. We're going to have to do this in multiple modules for sure. Have 3 engineers on the station, that's not too bad, 6,000 units of liquid fuel, and build the facility into a previously undisturbed Class E asteroid. Please note that Rokia Incorporated is looking for a new Class E asteroid that has not been grabbed, clawed, or otherwise disturbed by another agency prior to accepting this contract. And we need to maintain stability for 10 seconds and put your station in orbit of BOP. So, I think we could bring a Class E asteroid. I'm not sure how large that is. I've never done any asteroid capturing. I've never done any asteroid detection in KSP. So this is all going to be kind of new to me. I did a little bit of research last episode and discovered that in order to know where the asteroids are, we are going to be needing a Sentinel infrared telescope. I don't know why I said infrared, but whatever. Sentinel infrared telescope, and we're going to need to put that almost in orbit of Jool, slightly outside of the sphere of influence, and slightly towards the sun. And that will tell us where around Jool we can find an asteroid. And then we can do an asteroid capture mission and then start doing some station building missions. This is going to be quite a few missions to get this done. So let's get this started, shall we? And then I hit the leave button. Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay. So, let's get this started, shall we? For real this time. We have 5.5 million space bucks, so we should be fine, and this contract is for several million as well. So let's go ahead and launch our Sentinel telescope. And we're going to get this thing in orbit. We don't have to go all the way to Jool. We should have plenty of Delta V to get this done. This is essentially just a modified odd one. We are making this be not a relay satellite, but otherwise it's basically the same as an odd one, but we removed the relay antenna and replaced it with a telescope, and then we slapped on a non-relay antenna. Okay, so MechJeb should be fine to launch this, theoretically. So let's go ahead and have that happen, and once we get launched, then we can start thinking about, well, we're still going to skip circularization, and we're still just going to burn full prograde. There's no doubt about that. Because, I mean, all things considered, this is just a standard Jool mission at this point. We need to... I really don't like that spin that you gave it, MechJeb. That's going to be a problem. I'm just going to fix that for you. There you go. Excellent. That's going to be less of a problem. See, the problem was, when it was aligned this way, we're pitching this direction, and so as they detached, we'd be pitching into them. By coming this way, we'd be pitching into the top one as it detached. This way, we're pitching with it, rather than against it. So that's the reason why I wanted to have it be facing this direction. And once we get up to about 50 kilometers, we'll do our standard deployment of this. And actually, we have 4 Gigantors on this thing. I'm not sure we need that. That said, we are going to be a ways away from the sun, and I'm not sure how much power this telescope takes. Hey, we did lose a fin. It's okay. We're through the thick part of the atmosphere. Let's fix our roll. Don't really need to, but I'm going to go ahead and do that. Excellent. And our apoapsis is reaching space right about now. Excellent. Once we get up about 10 more kilometers, I'll deploy our fairing. And our rotation broke again. There we go. Excellent. About another 3 kilometers to deploy our fairing. Right about now. Excellent. Hello, Moon. What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be off being conquered or something? I don't know. Okay, RCS on to stop this roll. There we go, RCS right back off. And as soon as we hit space, I'm going to just burn full prograde. We don't need the ascent guidance window anymore. Now we should probably have maneuver planner up. And prograde, burn. Fantastic. MechJeb even got around to actually deploying the solar panels this time. That's nice. Okay. So we could do some object tracking as we're out here. Like, I mean, I don't think we'll be able to do anything right now, but we could try a test run of it. Needs to be activated on a solar orbit. Okay. That's kind of what I expected. We are now officially in orbit. Where are our MechJeb Delta V stats? There we go. Okay. Fantastic. And we're just pushing on out. We will be breaking orbit momentarily. We'll have about, what, 400 Delta V left? I think that's what we usually have. There we go. And we have broken orbit. Fantastic. So we will be right around up here, but we've got some unknown objects there. I want to know what happens if we are just outside of the Kerbal orbit like we are here. So let's go ahead and warp forward to here. Excellent. We do have our infrared telescope here. It only has 33 units of data. That's a little surprising. Also, I like how our antenna is clipping right through our solar panels. Glorious. Hooray for non-physics parts. In retrospect, I maybe should have moved these. I mean, I don't think it'll actually do anything. But it might not have been a terrible idea to move them down here to this Rockomax part here, because I don't think we're going to be getting to our ion propulsion anytime soon. Or perhaps ever. Okay, so we are in space over the sun, and let's just see how this works. Now mapping asteroids passing near Juno orbit. It is not using any electric charge. Go ahead and kill rotation. And I don't think we are able to transmit any science. Okay. Well, the moral of the story is, I think we have to have one to see them no matter what. So let's go ahead and set Joule as our target. And we need to change our inclination. So I'm going to go ahead and do a match planes with target. Okay, right about there. 6-second burn. That'll be fine. 176 days. Physics warp the turn. Fantastic. Okay. So we'll see if I understand how this works. Now, one thing I want to do is I still want to home and transfer to target, but I want to home and transfer right next to the target after we do our match planes. I don't want to get exactly there, but then I want to basically match with the target. Match-ish. I don't know if we have, if there's a certain range around this telescope. The wiki didn't say anything about that. It just said it maps it based on your current orbit and the next planetary body based on semi-major axis. So I think we don't actually even have to do that. I think we can simply get like a circular orbit in between Dress and Joule, and that should be fine, right? Based on my read of that, anyway. We'll find out. We should have plenty of delta V to keep going if we so desire. Okay, so let's go ahead and do our inclination change. Excellent. Fantastic. We are still object tracking, but let's log our observation data. Okay, we can transmit that. Okay. Oh, and that gave us some data out over here. So we've got a Class C, a Class D, and a Class E over here. I gotcha. Okay. That's not too bad. So let's just do a home and transfer to target. Create node. Now, we don't want to actually get into the Julian system this way. So let's go ahead and just do a... Where's our maneuver node? Here it is. Slight retrograde. About like that. That'll be good. I like that. Execute that node. Here in 174 days. So then once we get there, we will be in a good position to observe the area around Jewel to see if there's a Class E asteroid that we can easily tug into position. Or if there's one that spawns in position. Because I actually don't know. I've never done asteroid capture before. We'll need, I think, a grabbing claw. We'll need a pretty efficient way of propelling it. Thrust to weight on it will be weird. I have no idea how much a Class E asteroid weighs. We might need, like, multiple boosters. This is going to be new. I don't know how this is done. If we were just putting together a station in orbit around BOP, that would be easy enough. But the asteroid capture component, that adds a nice wrinkle. So, let's just see how this is going to go. Now, of course, we may not have gotten all of the data we could around the Dunian orbit because we did not match planes with it and we weren't super close to the orbit. And from what I can tell, that actually matters. But once we get out here, I'm just going to simply push out our periapsis to be, like, here-ish. Just off of the Julian orbit, just inside. That's kind of the idea, anyway. So let's focus on the sun for right now. We are pushing out to... Oh, hey, look at that. This is actually significantly out beyond the Julian orbit. Let's abort this node execution for right now. And let's burn at the periapsis. Oh, come on. Give me the periapsis. Let's burn at the periapsis. I'm going to do this manually. That's retrograde. Why would I burn retrograde? That made no sense. Okay, let's place it right about there. Execute that node. And of course, we are going to ditch this stage. Fantastic. And eventually... There we go. Now MechJeb's gonna warp up. Goodbye, booster stage. It was nice knowing you, maybe. I mean, you got us this far. That was nice of you, I suppose. Okay, so once we get out here, we just push out our periapsis to be a similar distance. That's gonna take probably a similar amount of delta V, but we've got plenty. So I am going to turn on our RCS and use what remains of our monopropellant to assist this burn, make it go just a little bit faster, and also physics warp, and also increase our thrust to weight ratio slightly. So that will be excellent. This is going to be a slightly lengthy burn, but that's okay. It gives me a little bit of time to speculate on what we'll find. Do I think that there will be a huge Class E asteroid in BOP orbit? No. I do not think that there will be one. There shouldn't be one. Which means we will have to do an asteroid capture here. Which is going to be exciting, to be sure. And then we will need to have some sort of a docking module on the asteroid capture in order to start building the station off of. Does a Class E asteroid have its own gravity, its own sphere of influence? I don't think so. I think it works like another ship. But that's another thing that we'll have to figure out. In real life, of course, it would, but I don't think they simulate that far. But first we'll have to find a Class E asteroid. We did find one in the Dunian orbit, right here, this guy. But that's a long ways to carry a huge asteroid. I'd very much prefer to find one near Jewel and haul it in that way. But even so, this is all going to be very new to me. But hey, that's exciting. We've been kind of doing the same old thing most of this time, but this is something new and exciting. And it'll allow us to most definitely send Kerbals to Lathe. Like, that'll be very easy with this infrastructure in place. But first, we need to find our asteroid. That is step one. There is the option of having it in Dunan orbit. There is almost certainly one in Dress orbit, because Dress is technically not a planet. Dress is a dwarf planet. So there's almost certainly one there. There also probably is going to be one near the Julian orbit, I'm gonna guess. If there is not, we're just gonna go back to Dress and put another one of these up. And if there's not one there, I guess we'll have to get our Class E here. There's multiple Class E's around Kerbin, though. With that being the case, I'm going to guess there's Class E's near Jewel. But I guess we'll find out. So this burn is just about over. We will be in position momentarily. And then I'm just going to push out at that apoapsis up there. Push our periapsis to be, you know, about here-ish. Slightly inside. There we go. Excellent. And then we add a maneuver here to push into about right here-ish, maybe a little further. Is that out beyond? That is. We don't want to be beyond. So just inside. Looks like we are slightly, like we're almost on here. So let's just see if we can't push that the other way. If we can't push that this way a little bit. Fill in the circle a little bit better. There. I like that orbit. Okay, go ahead and execute that. In 2 years and 312 days. Okay, so it's going to take a while to get over there. We are kinda close-ish to when I would put a cut in. So I think I probably am going to go ahead and put a cut in here. This is a bit of a short episode, but that's fine. I'll be able to cut here, skip all of this, skip most of the circularization burn, and then we'll come back. And we'll see what we can find in terms of Class E asteroids close-ish to Jewel. See you all then.